Did you know that the Bible talks about wealth and prosperity more than 2,000 times in the Holy Bible? And still yet, many believe that being rich as a believer is wrong. Today, I will share with you why God actually wants you rich, the negative consequences of remaining poor, and how you can align with God's plans for your financial success. Hi guys, I'm Alex. In this channel, I share insights on finances, business, and wealth building. But in this particular video, I'm more emphasizing on the negative repercussions of being a victim of poverty. In this video, I will be sharing powerful biblical principles that will prove wealth is God's plan for your life. To profit in this video, I want you to burn this idea in your heart that God wants me rich. The Bible does not lead us in the dark. It is a written verbatim. 3 John 1:2, he said, I wish above all things that you may prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. John 10:10b, Jesus himself speaking, he said, I have come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. This is why I came. Please, I want you to do this channel a favor of hitting that subscription button and turning on your notification bell to be notified as soon as I drop a new video. The first negative consequence that can challenge any man to do whatever he can under God to quit poverty is that the poor are ignored. Ecclesiastes 9 from verse 14 to 16, I will quote, There was once a small city and a few people in it, and a great king came against that city to destroy it. But there lived in that city a poor wise man. So interesting. A poor wise man, is that a name or a description? I was expecting to hear John or James and the Bible say, poor wise man. But let's continue. And the poor wise man, from his wisdom, invented a strategy and saved that city out of the hand of the angry king. And yet, nobody remembered that poor man. Verse 16 says, So I say, wisdom is better than strength, but the poor man's wisdom are despised, and his words are no longer heeded. Isn't it amazing that this wasn't a prophecy that King Solomon was prophesying? Is what actually happened. And can I tell you, if since the day of King Solomon, the poor had been ignored and rejected, and they still continue even to this day, that means it may not change just because of you. The solution then is to quit poverty. Isn't it so interesting how many people today are rejected in the political space, educational qualification, career space, and otherwise? If you don't want to be ignored, no matter the problem you solve or the solutions you provide, as the poor wise man, that means you must not remain poor. A wise man once said that the easiest way to change a thing is not by force or fight, but to simply grow into a realm where it no longer exists. If that is you, overgrowing poverty and entering into the realm of abundance, I want you to drop on that comment box, I can never be poor. When I see it, I will give it a heart, and God will confirm it. Negative consequence of poverty. Number 2, the poor are enslaved. Proverbs 22 verse 7. He says the rich rule over the poor and the borrower a slave to the lender. The rich country rules over the poor country. The rich businessman rules over the poor businessman. The rich church rule over the poor church, and whoever that finds himself at the other side of borrowing will remain a slave to those lending to him. Does that look like what you see in our society today? Negative consequence of poverty. Number 3, the poor are avoided. Proverbs 14:20. It says the poor are rejected by even their neighbors, but the friends of the rich are many. Even though we can judge the quality of friends that are around the rich, but one thing I know is that what the Bible says is so clear. The rich have so many friends, while the poor are usually lonely. Even though we can judge the quality of friends that the rich have, because when you made it, everybody will want to be around you, both the selfish and selfless. But one thing is that what the Bible is saying is so true. The rich have so many friends, while the poor are usually lonely. Nobody will indefinitely want to be around the poor. This is for the sense that in most cases, there is nothing to gain from the poor. And the poor in my description is largely the mental poverty. Because when you are mentally transformed and you don't have money yet, it is 80% guarantee that with time, patience and persistence, money will eventually follow. But almost nothing at all can help a mental default person. You can give him whatever you want, help him with whatever his mindset can interpret everything as wrong and compel a behavior that will bring him back quick to his to the true state of his mindset and belief systems. I want you to follow me to the end of this video where I summarize everything in a word so you can pick your point of application and be among those who will testify in your finances. Negative consequence or repercussion number 4. The poor lose in their productions. Proverbs 13:23. Much food is in the fallow ground of the poor, but for the lack of justice there is waste. The Bible is saying here that the crops of the poor can yield increase. They can work and get paid, but because of lack of justice from the rich towards them, and even sometimes the lack of justice of the poor towards themselves, they will end everything up in wastage. How many of you can agree with me that in most time the poor works harder than the rich? If you agree, drop on the comment box, I agree. They really work hard, but still yet there is nothing to show for all that dissipation of energy. I hope you will accept with me that the poor are taxed the most. They produce less and still yet they will be taxed the most, even more than the rich. Negative consequence or repercussion number 5. The poor are dominated by the rich. The poor are increasingly dominated by the rich because of lack and wants that pushes them into the doorpost of the rich. The rich may sometimes borrow to them, but with an interest that will later undermine the resources of the poor and make the rich even richer. Is a law. The rich rule over the poor and the borrower a slave to the lender. So if you want to be rich, avoid loans and financing. They can enslave you. Ecclesiastes 7 verse 12, the Bible says money is a defense. I love this. I hope the Bible will say God is a defense. Yes, God is a defense, ultimately speaking. But as far as walking in this cosmos is concerned, my brother, money is a defense. So you must not feel guilt of becoming rich because I thought you have known by now that is part of God's package for you as a believer and as His creature to be rich. So never will you find yourself being comfortable with poverty again. in the sense that you have no actionable plan to quit that zone of poverty. Poverty is never for you. It won't fit you. It is not for your brother, it's not for your friends, it's not for your parents or anybody you would want to love. Because when you are poor, you'll be dumped off and be ignored, no matter the problem you solve or the solution you provide. Just as the poor wise man, nobody will invite you to their birthday parties or to the naming ceremony. When you are poor, you will be dominated and enslaved by the opulence of the rich. When you are poor, you stand the risk of losing whatever you produce. The Bible even says in Matthew 25:29 that they that have will be given more, and they will have more in abundance. And he who does not have, even the small that he have, will be taken away from him. And lastly, when you are poor, you will be dominated by the influence of those above you. The Bible told us in Psalms 42 verse 7, he said, deep calls to deep. That means is who you truly are that will determine what will be attracted into your life, whether it be success or failure, is who you truly are. So in case you are in this condition of lack and what we call poverty generally, that means you have to acquire the mindset of the rich. Read books, attend seminars, buy the truth and sell it not. And you will find out that when you have the mindset of the rich, wealth, money, and prosperity will eventually follow. Thanks for watching to the end of this video. Do well to hit on the subscription button and turn on the notification bell to be notified as soon as I drop the next video. You will never suffer any of the aforementioned consequences of poverty.